I'm going to pretend that you are a person who isn't, in fact, just creating multiple accounts to harass me. And I'm going to pretend that you are, in fact, an ignorant person who doesn't understand how art works. And I'm going to explain to you how I make these boxes, how much they cost, and why people commenting things like this fundamentally don't understand how art works. Now, yes, I do, in fact, buy these boxes pre-made. Ironically, from a lovely Chinese woman in Cape Town. Now the thing is that these boxes are made out of boxwood or tea wood. If you've ever worked with boxwood or tea wood, you know it's actually kind of soft. So if you want to use it as a container for things that you're going to keep things in, you have to treat this wood. Now the first thing that you have to do in order to treat this wood is use glue. Now glue is expensive. The other problem is that you can't just use glue on its own. You have to mix it with a thinner, preferably isopropyl alcohol. Now this bottle goes for about 200 Rand a bottle. This is cheap glue. I don't know, I think I got this for what, 40 bucks. Okay, so there's that. That's the treating of the wood. The other thing that you obviously have to do is treat it with oil. That's kind of after the fact, but that cost me about 20 bucks as well. The other thing that you have to do is to seal the wood. You have to use this, which is about 75 Rand. Again, now all of these things, obviously I use on multiple products, so it kind of works into the overall price. But now let's discuss what I actually did to then alter the box to make it lovely toothies. The one thing that I did do is I put leather in the inside of here, which is leather, real leather, which I put onto the inside there. Now these are leather scraps and I got those for about 100 Rand for a kilogram, which is quite pricey for this project, but I did that nonetheless. I didn't just put teeth in here, I also painted the inside of the box. Now I used various paints, from the red paint to give it the bloody look, the white paint and the brown paints to make the teeth actually look like, oh wait, hold on, that's gloss. So I would use this combination of colors so that my teeth look like teeth and not just white. And then of course use a little bit of red washes so that my teeth actually look like they're a little bit bloodied and gummy on the one side. Now the other thing that, if you pay very close attention, let me actually shine a light on this, you'll see that the teeth are actually kind of glossy. Now the reason the teeth are glossy is because I added gloss varnish to the teeth. So all of these cost about 70 Rand a bottle. This cost about 50 Rand back when I got it. Now these teeth are made out of a special stuff called green stuff. Now one of these packets cost me about 200 Rand for a packet. If I was going to mass produce these, I would actually use polymer clay, which is slightly cheaper, but you can see here I spent about 130 Rand on the polymer clay. This is what I would use. I used green stuff as a prototype example. Now, these won't just stick to the box. I actually have to use equipment. Here I have a hand drill to drill little holes into the box, in which I use tempered wire around which I will then form the teeth, because if you just stuck these on, they would snap off. These will not snap off because they are actually affixed to the box with a wire in the inside. The wire runs the length of the tooth and goes into the box, which again needs to be sealed with more varnish to keep it in place. The other thing is that these teeth do need to be glued in place because wire won't just keep them in. So you need a little dab of super glue to hold the teeth in place. The problem is that super glue is a fantastic quick fix, but you actually need more expensive glue to do the job more properly. That of course doesn't cover the brushes that I use. This doesn't cover the cleaning equipment that I use. I have a lot of cleaning equipment. It doesn't cover my paper towels and stuff that I have to use. This does, oh, and of course, you can't just paint these paints directly onto these teeth, you have to prime. Now, what did this cost me? That's 150 Rand for a primer, because you can't just paint these paints directly onto these teeth. Otherwise, the paint would just crack and it would flake off. So, no, in fact, these aren't cheap little boxes, because by the time I am done painting them and varnishing them and treating them with specialized chemicals, expensive specialized chemicals, this costs somewhere between 180 to 250 Rand, depending on where you get it. Okay, well, this bottle will last me the whole year. But in fact, no, these boxes that I make are not cheap. They are, in fact, incredibly expensive. And any person who has ever done any work in art can attest to how expensive this is. Another thing that I did, this isn't the original color. This is actually, do you see the silver line there? I actually used markers. Hold on, I didn't actually pay for this. Let me grab my stationery box. I use these markers. These are quite cheap. They're about 20 Rand each. And I highlight elements on the box, which again will flake off if you don't seal them. And you have to wait at least maybe 4 to 5 hours between layers and wait for everything to dry before you carry on. So no, in fact, these aren't cheap boxes. Any person who goes onto an artist's page and tells them how cheap their stuff is foundationally doesn't understand how the art process works. Now, I do actually believe that you are the same person who's been bothering me across platforms, but tell me, has all of your ranting and harassing me online brought that man back that you're complaining that left you? I'm just curious.